Yo, what's up, everybody? It's the Good Life Podcast, the Kickback. It's your boy, Good Life Russ, and I'm here with a new host, man. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, man.
What's going on to our good life fam out there, man? I want to give a good notice to my name, Good Life Twaun. That's me. We're gonna enjoy this, man. This is ready for a new takeoff, man. I welcome
How,
you guys.
how's it feel, bro?
Man, it feel great, man. Finally being able to do something I love doing, getting out here, getting the opportunity. What better to do it with my brother?
Man, same, bro. That's exactly how I look at it. Like, I'm excited to be back, man. I'm excited that we get to build a following. We get to do this show organic. Like the people out there know we took a hiatus. Like it's been since last June. And that's the beauty of why I love things like this. Cause sometimes you gotta take a break. You know what I mean? Sometimes we think the long road is like it's gonna be a struggle and it's gonna be a hardship. But nah, sometimes you have to ease yourself into what you're doing by doing it gradually, you dig?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm glad to have you here, man. We gonna talk about purpose today, y'all. That's gonna be the topic. You know what I mean? We're gonna get into that after we shout out all our sponsors. And we got a few of them, man. We got people who are already pouring into the brand. They excited about what we doing. We excited about what they doing. We already have foundations built. So this is what y'all need to see. Sometimes it's easy to try to promote what's hot and what's happening. But remember your day one people too. You know what I mean? Remember the people who saw you on the way up, you dig?
Yes,
Because
sir.
you might be meeting them on the way down. You hear what I'm saying? So we got a few of our sponsors, man. We got Waves Bar and Kitchen. Shout out to Waves in Columbus, Ohio, man. A nice bar, you know what I mean? Pull up on them for some food, some lunch, some brunch. We got Sand Seafood up in Huber Heights. Shout out to Twaun. Like he definitely spotted them and had conversations with them. So we might be rocking with them soon. So y'all go start shopping with them and y'all in that Huber Heights area. You know what I mean? We got Dream Door clothing. That's the fine hoodie my brother got on right there. Yeah, he could tell you some more about that brand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One of my dating fellow brothers, man. Great guy, man. Shop with him. Go do a good look at his page. He do all type of merchandise. Anything you need made, he do same day. And just a hard working brother, man. Great guy, man. Definitely shop Dream Doors. Ronald Duds. Definitely reach in
Shout out to bro, and he started working immediately.
immediately.
That's the energy we need for each other. We can't be putting each other on the back burner, having each other wait. We know we got gifts, we got greatness. That's what we talking about today in purpose. We gonna get to that, y'all. We also got lastly Dream Dropping Gems platform. That's another group that I'm in. You know what I mean? We're all about mental health, sharing education. Hit me up if you trying to get on that platform. We're gonna be dropping a lot of videos about mental health, parents, how to calm yourself. I'm creating a gentleman's room for us guys. We gotta do some work. I see a lot of women in these healing spaces, and I tell these women my mission. I'm gonna get my brothers in here. You know what I mean? And not just for the extraness, fellas. Like we coming to heal. We coming to do some work. You dig?
The
So
positive shit.
the positive, man. Damn. So we got the bottom ticker going, the goodtribe.us. That's the website. All the information we got going on. You can find the podcast on there. We're gonna have a lot more in tune. We do the brand of the month. So any of these brands we named, we're gonna have through our pages. We're gonna be marketing, promoting, we're gonna be shopping, we're gonna show you their products. So tap in for that, man. Tap in. Shout out to the sponsors though. They came and they went. You dig? It's us time. It's showtime, baby.
We
It's
finally here, my
showtime.
guy.
We here, bro. I've been anticipating this. You feel
Man,
me?
listen, man. It's a blessing, my brother. Definitely a
It's
blessing to be a part of this, man. I hope y'all really tune in to this season, man. We definitely gonna have some nice stuff for y'all. I think going forward with mental health, I think a lot of us as men don't really realize the need of it. But it's time that we start waking up, man, for real. Like there's brothers out here hurting, bro, and this what this all about, man. Just the positivity of growing black men all together, white men. We ain't we ain't doing no type of we considering everybody. Let's just say, all
yeah,
right.
yeah,
At this being time, man. At the end of the day, though, my brother, man, let's take forward, man.
yeah. And someone might have something that you need that you don't know you need. So we can't just be out here dismissing stuff because of prejudice. That's what people did to us, you dig? So it's like if we had that same energy, we gonna miss out on so much, man. And we hear about the game. You feel me? I'm here about solutions. I can't tell you about no problem. I'm here for solutions. I'm here for growth and building. So that's what we gonna do. I'm glad to have my brother with me, man. The hardest part of podcasting is you gonna have so many phone calls that you like, we should have been record. This should have been a show. You hear me?
Man, how many talks we done had, boy?
It'd be tough. I get off the phone, I'm like, there was so many but sometimes you need that just for you. You dig? Sometimes you really got to realize this is your journey. And everybody can't go. You gonna have to say goodbye a lot on this healing journey. Tell people that all the time. Everybody can't stay, you dig? And it's love to the point now where we are getting together and we're able to break these stigmas. A lot of stigmas out here in business is you can't get into business with family, you dig? I just think that ain't family then. It's hard for me to call
Yeah,
you family.
yeah, something ain't right,
You feel me?
man.
Because I
Listen.
want to work with my brothers.
That's the goal, man. I don't understand that stigma of saying that you can't have business with family. Don't do business with family. You can't work for family. Like you said, man. At the end of the day, if we family, the ultimate goal is we all got one destination, and that's to get farther than where we are. So at the end
Mhm.
of the day, like, how can we not work with a brother? How can you not enjoy working next to somebody you supposed to love? You call your brother, man. It's a wicked place.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly, bro. And that's why I'm realizing like what we're doing here, the profoundness of it. Like, and I want people to understand this ain't just for us. This ain't just our journey. Like, everyone's on this journey with us, you dig? Because we all gonna need each other, bro. Nope. We gotta get out of that rapper mentality. Did it on my own. Ain't need nobody. Like, we gotta get out of that. Men need women, women need men. If we gotta say that every show for people to get it, you dig? That's what we here to do. You feel me? Like, so today we talking about purpose. And I no, we're gonna go back on that. We're gonna go back on that. We got shout out to Adrian, welcome back. Yes, it's glad for us to be in the building. This is bro first time around. You gonna see how comfortable you get. 'Cause bro can talk, bro know his stuff, you dig? And we got TJ Johnson. He said, think fam will turn their back on you faster though in business. Just a question. Absolutely. I see the other side. Don't get me wrong. I agree. I do see how sometimes it's easier to get complacent working with someone you know and think and slacking a little bit because you know they're more lenient. I get that. So, but we have to get to experiencing these things. A lot of times we talk about change in theory and we don't put it to practice. We just say, oh, well, no, they said don't work with family, so I don't. We got to also try to make change and try to give people that opportunity. There's a lot of family that has owns houses together and runs businesses that we don't hear and see about. So that's why we wanted to create this platform to show people they're out there. Not saying everyone's going to obtain that. I'm not saying everyone should go hire their family. Absolutely not. You dig? A big part of having decisions is having discernment, is knowing who you can do this with, who you know what I mean? Like my favorite coaches used to tell me KYP, know your personnel. If little Johnny's jump shot is trash, why you keep getting in the ball at the 3 point line? You feel me? Get it to him by the rim so he can get a layup.
KYP.
know your, you gotta know your personnel. You dig? So for me, I would say let's try to do these things. Let's not incorporate things and say we have to do it this way or say no other way works. I'm saying let's stop leaving things off the table. Black people ain't in a position to be picky. That's what you dig. Truthfully.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts, boy.
You feel what I'm saying? So we just need more. We need to exercise more options. I think a lot of us are getting burnt out because we've been trying the same things over and over and over, and it's like, okay, what do we have to show for?
It got so many of us that imprisonment mindset of we can't. It's like we holding ourselves in prison with trauma. Like you
Yeah,
said, like that's the hardest thing to do. This what we meant to do right now at this time, man, is start breaking these curses, man. Stop imprisonating our own mindset to thinking about the negativity. Like you said, if we always concerned with the problem and never looking at the solution, you know what I'm saying? We already
yeah,
beating our own journey. At the end of the day, it's time that we say, if I can't do business with this person because of this situation, that's just what it is. That don't eliminate everybody that I know, everybody that I call my family. You know what I'm saying? And we so quick to, put everybody in one group, categorize these people that we call family, you know what I'm saying? And we might be missing out on blessings, man. There's people out here that really can help us get along our journey while we help them to get along ours. The whole part of life is give and take. I mean, everybody had that mentality that we did it on our own. Hey, I didn't have nobody here to do that. I work myself for this, and I work myself for that. But at the end of the day, it's like, man, when you think the journey will be a lot smoother if I can give you 6 and you can give me 6 and we can make 12 together. We ain't got to
Mm-hmm.
cover that whole 12 alone.
Mm-hmm.
Like.
And we got to make our beginning, we got to make our genesis about business. Too many times we all come together as a family over celebration or over grief. Rarely is the reason we're actually coming together business. Business is always an afterthought. Once we done spent the money partying, we like, oh, we probably need to make some money back. You dig? And can't nothing grow through a reaction. Things can only grow through productivity and proactiveness and progressiveness. You got to plan for this growth. You have to plan for this money to turn over, not just need it when you realize you don't have any. You dig? And it's no one's fault we in those predicaments. We all in the same boat together. We were born into this opportunity. But if we keep looking at it as a hardship, that's how we gonna treat it. That's how we gonna treat each other. Like we going through a bunch of hardships. Like we got it hard on ourselves. If we look at these things as opportunities, we can become opportunists. You dig? But there's a lot of healing that has to come before that because some people gonna hear opportunists and think something negative. Like that's what we got to get our mindset out of. We don't know what a lot of things mean to be so particular about what we think things mean. You dig? And we ain't even had a conversation as a group of what we think this means. I say this all the time. We even have to redefine what family is. That's one of our issues.
Nah, that's a
You dig?
fact. That's a
Family is
fact.
not the people you're gonna be most gullible with. You hear me? That ain't your family. Family is the people who think to have your back. But still have to be in the right mind of thinking. If I'm working with a cousin and the cousin is messing up $100, why would I trust him with 10,000? Like I gotta think. I can't
KYP.
be mad once he messed up the money. That's what
And a
bro
lot of
do.
time they showing us. I've always been
Yeah.
a big fan of prevention is better than intervention. You know what I'm saying? And when we going through a lot of these things, people show us a long time before we get there who they are. So at the end of the day, if you can prevent it, you know what I'm saying? Why keep on saying, oh, I'm gonna wait till we get halfway down the line to try to intervene with something when you already knew? Like you said, if I messed up $100, why would you go and put $10,000 in my pocket? You know what I'm saying? Like, what you just think the blow gonna get a little softer because it's more money? Like, no, people get more money and create more problems. If I
Yep.
can blow $100, I can find 10,000 ways to blow 10,000. Like,
You hear
but
me?
as people, we need to really start looking at, our judgment calls. Purpose is one of them things that, it's a touchy topic, but the touchy part about it is that purpose come with choice,
Mm.
and our choices is what give us our purpose. A lot of
Mm.
times. So if we out here and a guy keep making the wrong choice, and we ask him what's his purpose. You know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, he don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part about us about informing ourselves with, what's going on around us, man. When people ask you what's your purpose, like you should have an answer.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people can't answer that question. It's a simple question. What's your purpose? I want you to really take y'all time and start asking people, what's your purpose? People around you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Start looking at it, asking yourself about the people around you. What's their purpose about being around me? What's my purpose about being around them?
Mm-hmm.
This relationship between people that you call family should always be a give and take situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't mean that all because I did something for you, you do something back. It means that when I'm down, that, you know what I'm saying, you got my back. And when you down, I'm going to have your back. You know what I'm saying? It might be 70-30 today, but next week it might be 50-50. You know what I'm saying? A week
Yeah.
after that, it might be 20-80. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, it's never going to be, I think people look for the stigma of just putting a direct number on it, or direct action. I did this for you. Why you didn't do this for me? And it's like, nah, man. You lose purpose along them journeys when you start doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Stop questioning the people that surround you and start questioning your purpose of having people around you.
Whew. That's real. I love that part, bro. And that's gonna lead us right into our segue of purpose. That's what we talk about today. We're gonna dissect, we're gonna break it down. Shout out to Chantel. She is the HBIC of the Dropping Gems platform. It's good to have you here. What's up, sis? But yeah, everything you said, bro, like we have to start looking in the mirror and checking with ourselves before we think to check in with somebody else. You dig? That's one of the sayings I have. Like, don't call me out, call me up. You hear me? But I already have to do the work because that's what luck is. Luck is being prepared for that opportunity because it could come at any time. So if you're always prepared, that's the luck. There is
Yes,
no
sir.
real luck. You dig? That person is prepared. So we become prepared by doing the work on our own. I can't ask my brother and hold him accountable what's his purpose if I'm not asking myself what's my purpose. If I'm not living in my purpose, I can't even come to you because then I'm calling you out. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And people get defensive. We wonder sometimes, like, man, why is this person, moving this way? And it's people are gonna get defensive when they feel like they're being attacked. And I've been on that end of the rope. You dig? A lot of people sound condescending when they talk to you, very condescending on some like, yeah, I know I got false too, but why ain't you figured your stuff out yet? Excuse me?
Yeah, that's the wrong way.
Yeah, that ain't it. If you want to be friends, that ain't how you start things. You dig? That's we getting off to a bad foot. We don't off on the wrong foot, you dig? And but that's also you have to know your boundaries. That comes with your purpose. Purpose to me is my reason for living. You know what I mean? I've talked about it several times on this show. Like when I was in my teens, things was so thick. Like I tried to leave a couple times. You hear? Like I was ready to check out. Like I had no will to live or go on. And I knew I wasn't gonna be a good person. I knew I wasn't gonna pour into the world. I knew I was probably gonna pick up a flower before I planted one. You hear me? And I love people enough. They didn't have to deal with that. I didn't feel like that was no one's responsibility but me. And once I got out of that headspace, like I was salty at myself. I was mad at myself for a long time behind that I could even think on doing that. You hear what I mean? And now I understand it. I understand it. Life is very fragile. And a lot of times what is another person's reason to push through is what's holding somebody else down. You dig? So through that situation, I had to speak different. I used to say things like, man, this scared me to death. Now I say things scared me to life. This woke me up. This helped me realize how important life is. And then once I have my kids, I tell them all the time, they saved my life. They changed my way of thinking. They forced me to think about something other than myself and my problems and my misery and my trauma and my you dig? Coach AJ in the building. What's up, AJ? She says, speak on it. Being purpose driven is really the way. Yeah, I'm what people see today, I'm nothing without my purpose. And in the beginning, I grew up in church. So Timothy in the Bible means one who praises God. So I tried to live up to that standard. I tried to be that. And then when I started my spiritual journey, I realized I'm here to show people another way. You dig? Like, I'm here to make mistakes. I'm here to open the business and then close it. I'm here to take the trip to Jamaica and get stranded. Don't know how you gonna get home. You gotta make some shake to get home. You dig? I'm here to go through that so other people can understand like this ain't the end of the world. This is not the last thing that's gonna happen to you. This ain't the biggest thing this is just another part of your life. That's another part of your purpose. So I'm good. I love life, man. I'm very purpose driven these days. Like everything I do is to progress life. Everything I do is to remind people that this life is very fragile and we do not have forever. We like you can relate to this, bro. And I lost a lot of people. So it's this ain't permanent. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Like this is very temporary, and I think like that every day. I ask myself every day, what did you do today towards your legacy? What did you do today to be remembered in 100 years? How are people going to read about you in 100 years? What are they going to say? What are they going to see? That's my purpose. You dig? Tell the people about your purpose. What's
Purpose,
purpose
purpose,
to you?
purpose. Man, when I think of purpose, the first word to come to my mind is journey.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, don't realize that the biggest thing of your journey is having purpose. And I look at my life every day as a journey. Every day, what keep me going is my purpose. And when I think about stuff like that, like you said, man, we done all been through it. You know what I'm saying? I had my share of losses. I had my share of losses early on. And it built character though. Having a mindset of, like you said, I know how to be stranded and figure it out. You know what I'm saying? I know how to go through some things and work my way home. The whole purpose of doing that every day is to keep going and keep going and keep going. But I had to learn that keep going don't mean you dealing with your purpose in life. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like a lot of people just every day, as long as I can make it to tomorrow, like, but the older I got, I started to grow into my purpose and realize that it's about what you complete in that day to get to the next day. We don't want to just get to tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, I prepare for tomorrow, but I also want to have a purpose of, like you said, finishing off today. I have a daughter, and she has become my biggest purpose. My life
Hmm.
alone is her.
Hmm.
I drive every day. I take my journey every day with the purpose of making sure my daughter is great. I let her drive me in everything I go through in life. I don't care what it is in life, whatever I'm thinking about, whatever I'm going through. I'll be at my lowest point sometime, man. All I got to think about is my daughter. It's a purpose. Keep going. And I go to a lot of different businesses, and I meet a lot of people, and a lot of people, I ask them all the time, how your day going? Oh, I got to do this at work. They typically complaining because I'm usually getting there to give them some work, so they typically complaining already. And I always tell them, like, man, you cannot have a job. And they look at me. I know in the back of their head they be wanting to tell me to F off sometime, but all they do is smile and be like, man, you right. And I feel like every day that's my purpose, man, is to make sure other people around me realize that, you feel me, like today ain't the last day. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? This ain't the end. Like anything you going through, like it's definitely something worse. Like it's
Yeah.
somebody that's dealing with something 10 times worse what you going through. And the more you start realizing that if we can complete this task that we doing right now, we can go on. It's life after this task. It's life after this journey. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna go through some trials, you're gonna have some downtimes, and you gotta realize it's life after that. You know what I'm saying? And to know that it's life after that, you got a purpose to keep going. Let's fight through what we dealing with today so that we can have a purpose to be here tomorrow. Don't just be here tomorrow. Don't be a person that's just waking up every day.
Hmm. And it's easy to get stuck in that mode without your purpose. So your purpose also backs as your compass, as your North Star. It reminds you in those times when you get lost. And please, please, please expect to get lost if you trying to elevate. You are literally learning new parts of yourself. You're not supposed to know where you are. You're not supposed to know what's going on. Your journey is figuring that out. It's sitting with yourself, talking with yourself, having counsel with yourself. You dig? And that all stems now to the next part of what we're talking about is your gifts. See, there's a lot of things that come with your purpose that will keep you aligned within that purpose. You dig? Yes, AJ. AJ said all trials are temporary, and Chantel said wisdom is a reward from a hurdle cleared. Facts. You dig? Facts. That's what there is to gain. But even then, we can't worry about what there is to gain. A lot of people I hear in the beginning of their gym journey, their mental health, their nutrition, it's like, what do I get out of this? And we have to get out of that mindset. You dig? The best things will come when you're not paying attention to them. When you're not realizing it's forming around you. You dig? You
Right.
submitting to the vibe. That's the best possible reward. But looking for earthly things or tangible things out of a spiritual journey, it's going to be rare. There's going to be rare that something can reflect the magnitude of the type of work that you're doing. You dig? Because you doing spiritual work, the type of work you do when you change yourself, you immediately alter everything around you. Now, everyone I have a conversation with is going to have a different interaction. Everyone I hold the door open for, everybody that I'm kind to, it's going to be a whole different vibe. So I can't sit here and say, well, the world needs to handle me better without asking myself, what am I doing to attribute
Yeah.
to this problem? How did I get myself here? You dig? It has to work two ways. We can't use these things in a positive for our purpose, but then not use it for accountability. And
Yes, sir.
accountability is that person standing behind the purpose. It's the third wheel friend that don't want you to take purpose home. Accountability, you dig? It's the one that's going to check you because it's seen your game before.
You don't like accountability. We don't like that, friend.
We don't like why you bring accountability, girl. I'm just trying to kick it with purpose. I don't want accountability.
Man, listen, boy.
You dig? And that's our journey of growth. That's our growth of the journey is you sitting with yourself and living with some honor, realizing I don't want purpose without accountability. I don't want love without effort. I don't want consistency without commitment. Because we ask for a lot of things, but we aren't always prepared to deliver on what that thing requires. We did the same thing we was young in the hood. Cats want to get the Range Rover until it's time to get the oil change. And then you see why rich people drive these cars. You dig? Yeah, you could afford the car, but you can't take care of it.
That's
It's
the
gonna break
difference.
down.
That's
You
the
got to leave it on
difference.
the side of the
Listen,
road.
listen. This is what I had to tell the young fellas when we was growing up, and still to this day, I love dropping this gem. Just because you can pay for something doesn't mean you can afford it.
Yep.
You can pay for a lot of things. I can go out and buy a lot of things that I can pay for. But can you afford it? Can you continue to live your everyday life? Can you afford the oil change? That's being able to pay for something. You know, that means you can afford it. You went out and bought the car without knowledge of being able to afford it. A headlight is $300, man. Take the car back. Take it back, man.
It ain't for you, G. That car was not looking back. They talk about the car was looking back at me. No, it wasn't. It was looking past. It was looking at the rich
Man,
people past you, man. Cut it
man.
out.
Accountability.
Account-
Accountability, man.
Accountability. The friend that's always lurking in the shadows. Accountability's there, G.
They call accountability haters nowadays, man. You got accountability on your shoulder. You know, they call them haters now. Them friends that's calling you out on your shit, telling you don't need to go buy that car because you can't afford it. You calling them haters. Like, nah, man, y'all gotta start waking up, bro. People care about you, man.
Yeah,
Everything that's negative to you don't mean that it's negative for you, man. Somebody might be telling you something that's really something you need to hear. And it's
yeah,
not aligning with your eyesight, so you're gonna look at it as negativity. But brother, you know he right. You know that you shouldn't be going out and buying that car, man.
yeah.
But you
And
know,
sometimes that's what we have to heal because we're good in other areas across the board, but we're not so good with authority. We're not coachable. It's hard for anybody to tell us stuff. We got too big for our britches, you dig? And that's gonna be the quickest way to your downfall. It's why I gotta tell the homies from the streets that's coming up getting into this realm. Like, think about it from a kingpin. Like they did everything they did to get to that point. And a lot of them get jammed up in traffic stops because they don't have no license. They stopped doing the thing that they did in the beginning to get where they are. And now that's your downfall. Now that's the thing tripping you up because you thought, oh, I did it once, so I don't need to do it again. This life is continuous. You'll never be healed. You're always healing. You know there is no one size fits all, you dig? Absolutely. Coach AJ talking about preach. He says sustainability is key. To acquire is one thing, but to sustain is important. Miss CC Berry said facts. Miss Black Rose, shout out to her. She's an author, a writer, man. Check her out. And Miss Chantel said because they lack self-discipline. When you lack self-discipline, you can't hear anything about the bigger picture. That's a fact.
that's a big fact. That's
Look
a
at them
big
having
fact.
their own show in the comments.
Yeah.
That's a fact. You hear what I'm saying? Like, once you get in such a small box, you can't see anything but those corners. You can't imagine outside of those boxes. And a lot of us always lived outside the box. So we find ourselves trying to fit in someone else's box to make them feel better about themselves. That's not your purpose. The ancestors, the universe, God, Buddha, whoever didn't send you here just to take care of other people. They sent you here to experience you because no one can do it. No one is you. No one will ever be you. You are you. We got you, you dig? So I always encourage people to be themselves, and your purpose is not what someone else is telling you it is. And that's where it comes to the gifts. We got to do more things that celebrate us, that make us feel good. Like me and bro still hoop. People don't know how hard it is to hoop at this age. My knees, my back, my neck. You hear me? Like they
Wait,
don't
the
even
next
know,
day,
bro.
man.
They don't know. But I love it. And it's loved me. And it's been hard times. And I done cried on that court. And I done slept on that court. And I done ate on that court. I done fought with the homies. And I done helped the homies fight. I done helped the homies up. You dig? I did everything on that court, bro.
That's a
Everything.
safe
That was my
place.
first love. Real
Safe
rap.
place. Safe
Basketball was my
place.
first love. So it hurts not doing it the way I did it. But two, I knew I wasn't going to the NBA. I wasn't even looking at it like that. I was just glad it was there. I was glad it was something I could do. And
That was a part
sometimes
of
we
your
always looking at
journey.
our gifts, but like what make us money or what impress people. What do you love to do? That's your gift. What do you love to do? Because do that. How you
Man,
feel on gifts?
man, man. Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I'm a gifted person, if you ask me.
Yeah.
So I ask myself every day, man. You got all these talents. What you doing with them? You know what I'm saying? And you know, another thing that I found along my journey of purpose is that you know, some gifts is for later days. You know, you gather these gifts along your journey. You take this journey, I'm telling you, man, you're gonna go through some of them late nights, like you said, man, going without, figuring out. You know what I'm saying? Them a lot of gifts that you pick up along the way. You know, the real gift of life is struggling. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mm-hmm.
if you don't never go through nothing and you don't figure out how to work through, you know what I'm saying, controversy and going through struggle, you know what I'm saying, you already a dangerous person in society today. You ever met a
Mm-hmm.
person who never went through, nobody ever told them no their whole life? You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
They waited. You know, these people 30, 40 years old, and they finally getting told no at work, and they throwing temper tantrums, man. Like, it's like, I've always been one of them people that I would like to lose early off in the race.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like to be stagnant with my losing so that I learn, you know what I'm saying? All right, if I lost this way, what can I do to better it next time to where I might not win, but I might lose a different way? I ain't never going to lose this same way again because I done learned how not to lose this way. You know what I'm saying? So after I done went through a couple losses, you know what I'm saying? I done learned my journey, my purpose. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting to my destination. I realized that, all those things that I learned down there at the bottom, they taught me how to be who I am up here at the top. It's some people
Yes.
that never take no losses, man, and they go through this journey and they win and they win and they win and they get all the way to the top and they take one small loss and they don't know how to deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like, and if you don't have no gifts, if you ain't gathered no gifts along this journey, you know what I'm saying, and you get to the top and you take a loss, man, it's a scary fall, man. Y'all better
Mm-hmm.
start letting y'all kids go through some of these tough times, some of these losses, and going through some of these struggles so that we can keep them strengthened. Because I'm telling you, man, it's gonna get wicked and ugly out here, and we gotta have a purpose. We gotta realize what our purpose is, and the only way your kids gonna learn their purpose is letting them go through some of these endeavors themselves. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? You can't. It's some things that they don't have to learn on their own. You know what I'm saying? Some things you're gonna be able to tell them. They should learn from your losses. But there's some things that we got to stop pampering these kids from because the kids is our future. This who's gonna be taking
Yep.
care of these gonna be the politicians when we old and can't wipe ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So we want them to learn how to go through some of these controversies through their life so that they learn when they get to the top. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we already been there. We dealt with that. You know what I'm saying? Our parents wasn't allowed to do X, Y, Z. You know what I'm saying? We passed that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't be one of them people that get all the way up there and one small bump on your head and we never hear from you again.
Yeah. And that happens so often, bro. So often. Because it's a lot of fluff. It's a lot of air in what you're doing and you just getting deflated. You know what I mean? But when you solid, your form don't never change. You hear me? It's impossible. Can't nothing change you. Yeah, Coach AJ said, yeah, gotta let the kids learn on their own. That's what's affecting a lot of these Gen Z kids now, unfortunately. You know what I mean? And Miss Barry says, speaking all facts, and hello everyone. And her new book will be out in the fall. So look out for that. But yeah, these new kids, we have to remember just how people mistake their journey for ours. These kids are not us. I see too many of our generation like, yeah, they grew up with the internet and that's their life. Like that's their life. So help them through these different parts of life, you dig? But us criticizing and us worrying is worshiping the problem. Now we're focusing on something that's not about to progress or not about to change what we're doing. You dig? Adrian said you can't emotionally shelter your child. They'll grow up to not feel prepared to deal with certain interactions with others because they weren't allowed to gain that experience. And this is where you get the sneaky culture in kids. And it's not that always the parents doing something wrong. But if they feel like you're stifling their growth or you keeping them back for something, they gonna want to do it more. You dig? And a lot. I've never been a fan. I've never been a fan of limiting someone's growth and telling them how much they can grow and what areas and what they want to do. I want you to show me interest so I can pour into that interest. And if it's something else next week, let's try that out. Because, like you said, a person may find themselves feeling like they have multiple gifts. But if you're only leaning towards one of their gifts, they're gonna start feeling like you're communicating. Oh, you don't rock with the rest of me. You dig? You just here for this. You dig? Coach Lauren in the building. What up, Coach Lauren? Yeah. So it's like for me, the best way to get through to another person is you have to learn to be secure with yourself. And a lot of how we feel about other people's lives are projections of how we really feel about ourselves. Every relationship I've ever had with anyone, the value, the quality was the relationship I had with myself. I'm not able to be better with you than I am with me. You dig? So whatever pinnacle I hit, that's as far as me you can go, whether you know it or believe it or not. That's what it is. So I'm constantly making sure I'm growing, I'm growing, I'm growing. And sometimes you got to sit out. See, people have a hard time with rejection. They have a hard time of not being at the party and not being at the parade and not staying for another blunt. You know what I mean?
They feel
You
left
did?
out.
Yeah, being left out. And man, listen, I was a club promoter. It's the same party, dog. It's just a different venue and it's a different DJ. It's the same parties. Like, so go have fun, enjoy yourself, but we gotta stop chasing waterfalls. You dig? We gotta stop looking for a different meaning other than what this thing keeps showing you it is. Like, sometimes we delusional with our gifts. We think our gift is bagging girls and getting money from men. You dig? That's your manipulation. That's not your gift. Your gift is what brings value. Your gift is things that can actually benefit another person and not just benefit you in the moment and not just benefit through pleasure. You dig? It should be compound interest, the gift that keeps giving. That's where these things come from. But a lot of things got lost in translation because, again, we were worshiping the pain. We were so hurt, we couldn't think straight. We just didn't want to hurt anymore. And that's a lot of people's actions or inactions. You're not seeing them have this convoluted plan to take over the world. They're tired. They're hungry. You dig? They ain't ate all day. It's stuff like that. So we have to realize sometimes that hunger in your belly is not food. Like you starving for connection. You starving for people who understand you. You starving for opportunity in a space where you can grow in versus walking into all these places and seeing how low the ceiling is and realizing I can't grow. I shouldn't grow in here. I'm gonna be through the roof.
Nah, nah.
You know what I mean?
You definitely
So
got to
this
be
leads me
observant.
to the next part of our purpose is patience. The next part is where are you in a rush to be? I used to want to be rich. I used to want to be married. I used to want all these things that I didn't know the maintenance on. So where were you in a rush to be, my brother?
Man, man. As a kid, man, as a kid, I can only imagine the thought process. Like you said, man, the family, the kids. I was just laughing the other day, talking about how, when we was younger and the first thing we used to say was, man, I can't wait to drive. I can't wait to drive. It's like, man, the responsibility of driving is crazy
Crazy.
nowadays when you realize you got to pay for insurance. You mean to tell me I got to go pay to get this car for me to drive? Then I got to go buy my car. Got to pay taxes on this car. Then y'all go make me get insurance to drive the car that I already done paid for that's mine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then y'all go tell me that, man, your insurance didn't cover that. I was always in a rush to drive, man. I can say that, just growing up in life, I realized, even today, the urgency of, kids with driving, something as simple as that, man. Just driving, these kids don't understand, man. Back in our day, we drove without license, you know what I'm saying? And, a lot of us don't have license now, I mean, let's be realistic. A lot of the 80s and 90s babies don't have license right now to this day,
Facts.
man. It's sad, man. And it's because we was in a rush to drive. We was
Mm-hmm.
always in a rush to drive, but we don't realize the severities that come with that. I lost some friends at a young age being in a rush to drive, being in a rush to get somewhere. We always felt like we was missing out. Just go back to your point of
Mm-hmm.
always feeling like we missing out on somebody leaving us out. We was ruthless, stealing our parents' cars, getting in the car just to drive, just to go somewhere that we thought we was missing out on.
Drinking
Get
and
there,
driving.
get there and lock the keys in the car. Get there and the tire go flat. Now you got to call and explain why you done took the car or how the car got all the way over to this party. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's just crazy the things and the risks that we take being in a rush, man. When it comes to driving, man, in life, it feedbacks to it all the time. You know, never be in a rush.
Hmm.
Like never be in a rush. Like I don't care where you think you getting to no faster than the next person, man. A journey is a journey. You know, whatever is meant to be for you to get there, when you gonna get there, that's what it's gonna be. You driving 90 miles per hour ain't gonna get you there. You know what I'm
At
saying?
all.
Because you might make a 30-minute difference and then wreck.
Yeah. And it's
Like,
funny being on the other side now. It's funny being the grandpa driver watching the YNs drive
man,
by.
look at them flying down the
Oh,
street.
slow down, you whippersnapper, slow down.
Man, some good
uh,
days,
you
man.
hear me? AJ said, hustle culture put me in a rush and lacking so much patience for so long. I wanted the bag, not now, but right now. But learning things will align when you're naturally growing and doing the work. That is a testimony. Coach Lauren said, take me back, back to the, we gotta edit some of the things we said. Take me back. I gotta change a few things around. Coach AJ said, for real. Jess said, speak on it. Chantel said, the crazy thing is people can project rushing onto you. You have to be grounded. That's a fact. You dig? We're going to put a pin in that because that's a fact. You dig? Like, sometimes we are taking on the energy from the people around us. And we're so disassociated with our energy, we can't read which is which. I've done that so much. That's why I had to be, that's what I meant when I said my kids changed my life. I couldn't have certain friends because I would come home irritable and just chatty and gossipy, you dig? And that was the circles I was around at the time. Like, hood dudes is really chatty. They gossip and they talk a lot. You hear me? So I'm coming home talking too much around them, and I'm like, okay, something got to give, because I know that wasn't me feeling that. There was just that energy I stepped in and got on my coat, and you know what I mean. I drank on and that all that type stuff. So it's like that matters. That matters so much.
My dad used to have a saying about being steadfast and unmovable.
Mm,
That was one of the things that he always preached on. Man, was that no matter what's going on around you, remember what I taught you at home. You know what I'm saying? And being grounded and having roots and structure in your life as a young kid, you know what I'm saying? It definitely teach you how to be a different man. I think sometimes we forget that a lot of people that we around didn't have structure. They didn't grow up with no foundation. You know what I'm
mm-hmm,
saying? And it's like we expected the unreal out of these people. We want them to realize what structure is when they never had it. They never had to deal with it. You know what I'm
mm-hmm.
saying? So going through life and going through these journeys, you're gonna have some people that, you're gonna have to refoundate, and that's one thing that's I wouldn't say for the week, because definitely, if you're not a person who already, you know, steadfast in your ways and your thinking, you know what I'm saying? Like, what somebody else going through, might be able to drown you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't
Mm,
help pull nobody out of their own storm when you ain't, you know what I'm saying, steadfast in your own storm. Uh, you
yeah,
know, I hate to go biblical, but he told him, don't take your eyes off of me. You know what I'm saying? So, if you ain't got your roots where they need to be, don't go taking on everybody's problem, man. And we be in a rush to be saviors and help everybody, but you know what I'm saying? You can't save nobody when you already drowning.
yeah. And you got to ask yourself, why are you trying to save these people?
What's your
Are you trying
purpose
to get
in it?
into heaven? Do you really want to help? Are you trying to be a good person? You trying to be a good Samaritan? You dig? A lot of times we try to help people and they didn't ask. And we find ourselves now trying to take on a role that was never requested. And we're upset by how they're receiving the help. You feel me? So that steadfastness is going to help you out of a lot of jams. I used to misspeak so much before I learned I could just be quiet. I don't have to say anything. But when I thought I had to say something, oh, I was talking. You hear me? I was talking like money back, yo. You feel me? And I had to learn sometimes it's okay to be quiet. It's okay to shut up, bro. And you gotta counsel with yourself like that. You dig? You gotta. Oh, well, let's go to the comments. They thugging. CC said we stayed in a stolen car and we were girls. Yeah, we were thugging when we were kids. Don't let our kids get a hold of this information. A lot of us was outside thugging. Uh, Sierra also said they really are. Coach AJ said that's powerful. Shout out to your pops. Lauren said we facts we grew up differently. And Coach Chantel said, now you see why my phone be on D&D. You gotta put your oxygen mask on first. Coach AJ said the savior complex is real. It's an ego strike for a lot of people. That's
Okay,
real.
back.
And Coach Lauren said, yeah, you gotta save yourself. And sometimes that's the last thing on our mind. Like sometimes the last thing on our mind is checking with ourselves and saving ourselves and making sure we're all right. So I agree with that wholeheartedly.
I'm definitely learning
You a
that.
little
I'm going through
frozen
my
on
journey
mine. You
right
good?
now. Yeah, I'm just now getting you back. You've been gone for about a whole 3 minutes.
Oh shit, word. You can see me?
Yeah, we can now.
Oh shit, my shit thugging. I probably ain't got no service. So it was just straight voice, no video?
It was the voice was gone. You just came back in. When you was reading the comments, you was gone for like 3 minutes.
Oh shoot.
I heard you say
It,
something about we stayed in the stolo and then you was gone after that.
oh
You came back in saying what Coach Lauren was saying.
oh my bad, y'all, my bad. Yeah, sis was saying they stayed in a stolen car when we was young. I was saying, yeah, we was wild back then, our gender. Don't let the kids see this show, man. We was
Yeah.
thugging.
The good days, man. It taught us who we are today, man. I will say for sure.
Yeah. Ray Lindsay said, little bro. And
Big
Andrea
bro.
said,
Get them a shout out, man. They got their podcast too, man. We're gonna definitely do some collab with bro. They sports though.
okay. Yeah, we can get into that sports, man. I love just chopping it up, having that community and that union. You feel me?
Nah, man. You know that's our heart, man. We're gonna touch it here and there. We're gonna definitely touch it.
Yeah, it gets real in those sports chats. You dig? Oh, okay, AJ said they heard me reading the comments. All right, bet. Glad to be back. Sorry about that, y'all. Um, so yeah, we was at where are you in a rush to be? So now we're at how do you overcome your lack of purpose? How do you get out of the mud?
I think the best thing to do is always, like I said, you gotta be rooted so you find your purpose the beginning. Me and you had this conversation a couple weeks ago. Is that always, being able to return back to the beginning? That's a part of what I was saying earlier. Is going through that journey. When you finding your losses and your first two steps, learning how to walk. We was talking about uh, as babies we crawl. Then once you're going through the journey of learning how to walk, you don't see people that's grown typically crawling around on the floor. You know what I'm saying? But when we get older in life and you become elder, you know, it kick back to your baby instincts. When you fall on the floor, if you fall out your wheelchair, you know how to crawl. You know what I'm saying? And I
Mm-hmm.
think, whenever storms I'm going through, I always look for some similar storm. Something I done been through that's like this. You know what I'm saying? And I think of my strengths and what it took my purpose to get out of there. And I think that's what gravitates me always to looking up. Like I don't care what's going on. I never try to look down. I'm always trying to look up. I've been out, I've been there already. I remember them mistakes. I remember going through those things. You know what I'm saying? They kind of taught me how to crawl out of here and how to get up. I was always looking up when I was crawling up. So ain't no purpose of looking back down there.
Mm-hmm. Because you know it's there. You did it. That's real. Miss Chanel sent 2 thumbs up. Ray said most definitely fellas respect the platform. Appreciate that. Love. I would agree with you, man. Like when I'm in that position, I try to go back to the basics. I try to go back to my fundamental instincts. So I grieve. I love a good cry. I love letting it out. You know what I mean? I love really releasing and letting stuff go. And I think we've bottled too many things up as black men over the years, for different reasons. It really don't even matter why. But grief is such a huge part of the journey. It's such a huge part of struggle. It's a huge part of learning how to give yourself grace. And those are the things that we're going to have to forgive ourselves for. Not being strong enough in the moment, getting into that rut, getting that little $5,000 advance and you blew it. You know what I mean? Like we got to give ourselves grace and we got to grieve because yeah, that hurts you. Losing that friendship hurts you. We be so quick to move on from old friendships. We be so quick to move on from old apartments and old jobs. Like, you gotta grieve. You gotta give yourself time in between to get over that, because that hurts you. And it's okay to say that. You know what I mean? It takes a strong person to admit that. And that doesn't mean be wounded. That's a whole different thing. But once you can identify you've been hurt, you've created space for healing to take place. If you think I'm okay, nothing's wrong, you're not going to look to do the work to feel better. You're going to try to live in that lie. You can't lie to yourself. You can lie to the
Hey,
news.
some
You can
people
lie on
trick
TikTok.
themselves.
You can't lie to yourself. You know what I mean? So now we're realizing the work has to start within every single time. Every time we look without, turn your direction and your attention right back within with you and ask yourself first, am I okay? Am I okay with what happened? And sometimes it's the principle, but sometimes you're not okay because you were caught off guard. Nothing wrong happened. You just wasn't, they threw you a little curveball. So this is why I teach people breathing techniques. This is why I teach people to just breathe and recenter. Because sometimes you're just a little off, you a little antsy, you got displaced energy, you don't know what to do with it. Because again, you wasn't prepared for this outcome. You thinking Shorty gonna come out, y'all going on date night with the turtleneck. She brought the cocktail dress out. And you like, oh, the homie's gonna be there. Unc freaky self gonna be there. I don't, babe, where the turtleneck? You hear me?
What you say? You weren't ready for this one.
I wasn't ready. I forgot you had it like that. Hold up. Put that up.
Man, hey man, that's a fact, bro, for sure.
You ain't been married. You ain't been with a woman long enough if you ain't had them type of feelings, bro. Because, well, you know how to pick them. And sometimes you see it like, man, I better take care of her. I'm going to treat you
Nah,
real good.
nah, that's a fact. That's definitely a fact, man. Hey, man, I honestly want to say though, man, this been a great show, man. Today has definitely been a great my first show, man. I love the audience. I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get a little more comfortable, more and more comfortable every week.
Yeah.
But I definitely enjoyed this, man, for sure, man.
Same, Brody. And we can keep it going, especially when the people here they comment, they jugging. You feel me? Like, but no, I agree. I appreciate having. I told you it's going. It's natural for you because it's already what we be doing. It's how we really be talking to each other. You know what I mean? So, I love now that we can put this on a platform and people can see like we ain't talking about shooting people up and robbing people.
Yeah,
Like we ain't. We fed. We got kids.
man. Old
Kids,
man, man.
plural. You hear me? We got multiple kids we responsible for every day. People don't get that. So it's no disrespect when I'm not showing up to the parties and I ain't out no more to kick it and I'm trying to have one-on-one time with one of my kids or I'm trying to be alone. That's what it is. That's my life. You know what I mean? And we always got to start there. And a lot of times when people see you when you're growing, they want to imagine like you had a silver spoon, it was luck. You know what I mean? How do I get what he's having? Like, you got to walk that walk in your
Yeah,
own way, in your shoes, in your neighborhood, for your purpose. Living in my purpose ain't going to help you, I promise you. But when you do what you do, we've created humility. Because now I know from where I'm standing, I'm not standing in your spot. And I know you ain't standing in my spot. So nothing I ever will see any of my brothers have, I want. Nothing that's yours is mine. You feel me? That has to be a respect out the gate. This is what cut a lot of people off from me. It ain't because they ain't know how to make money. It wasn't because they couldn't hoop. It's because they don't understand boundaries now on a fundamental level from a person who is accelerating their life. Not who I was, who I am today. So you can't hold me to yesterday's standards. The price went up, fam. The price went up.
oh man, man, man. Don't we all lose some along the journey, man? But that's a part of the journey that build us to be who we are, man. Like you said, if it costs you too much to give me my peace, you don't need to be around me, man. And vice versa. If it's costing me my peace to be around you, I definitely don't want you around me. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to keep me in prison to the person I was 15 years ago, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times I can't have no peace there because that ain't who I am today. We done went through these journeys. We done went through our processes. You know what I'm saying? Any endeavors that we might have came across, it taught us to be who we are. And for a person who's still trying to and place me into who I was 15 years ago, like you said, You can't afford to be around me, and it ain't got nothing to do with nothing financial, material. Like you just can't afford to be around me.
Hmm. And that's for the people who are choosing to keep those people in your life. We got to take the romance out of a lot of things. A lot of people are not intentionally trying to hurt you. The reason a person wants you to be the version of yourself from 12th grade, because they're stuck in 12th grade. Everything they see is from 12th grade. They still living the same, dressing the same, talking the same. So they need you to play your role so their mind can still feel like we're back then. That's what I mean by progressive. You live in the present. You
That's
dig?
deep.
Time
That's
trying to
deep.
keep up with you. I was
That's
doing
deep.
things like that's what I love that you said in the beginning. Sometimes you obtain gifts for a later date. That's parenting 101. I've had to build things and buy things for my kids for later. But I invested in it now so I could learn it. For when it's time to give it to them, I could know what I'm doing and what they're doing. So we both not misusing this thing. It's the same way in life. I've been building these attunements of talking my whole life. But it just now became relevant to have a show and to do these things and talk about these things. So here we are. And in the moment where we taking this on the road and we in Africa and we in India and we in Japan, we talking to kids, that's where we are. I'm always going to be present where I am. That's where my life is happening. Not across the street, not in New York, not in Cali. You know what I mean? It's here. It's here. And I think sometimes that created the advantages we have by growing up in Ohio. Because Ohio will throw you a lot of curveballs naturally. It's snowing here now. Like, what's going on? So it's
Man,
like Ohio builds character, bro, especially for black people. Ohio builds character. I'm gonna die on that hill later on in life. You dig? Like, cause we do so much, but I get tired of people thinking we live on a farm, man. This ain't no farm
y'all
life.
stay in the country, man. Y'all country boys. Like what?
This ain't no farm life. We gotta hustle, bustle. We gotta get it. But our biggest hardship is the cities can't keep up with our intellect. We're moving too fast compared to what everything else is happening in the city and the output. They can't build the buildings fast enough that can fit us in, because then we would have already grew some more by the time you open the doors. You dig? So that's why we have to spread ourselves out. We have to get out outside of your backyard. You got to take your show on the road. And it's going to be times when you're at home and they don't see your gift and they don't believe in your gift. You dig? You got to believe. That's success. Success is the fact that I get to do poetry. I get to write books. I get to do this show with my brother. That's success. I've already won. So you can't buy me. You dig? You can't trick me. You can't bargain with me. The price is the price. So, and all I want is your attention. And then take that attention and go have these conversations with your people and your family and your friends. Go keep this, go stir this pot. Since you like stirring pot so much, put this in rotation. You know what I mean? And if we can't hold each other accountable to that standard, I don't want it. A lot of people think I had an issue with Kendrick or the whole situation. My issue is that we so quick to take the poison and then we set limits and parameters on the medicine. We don't care when we sinning, but as soon as it's time to heal, now we want to be particular in how we heal. So it's okay when we do some shit that we can justify benefiting through it, but we not using those same justifications to help each other. We not rushing to each other's aid. We rushing to see who getting talked about today. We rushing to see who getting bullied today. We rushing to see who viral. You
It's
know what I
wicked,
mean?
man. It's wicked, boy. It's a
It's
wicked
super
time,
wicked.
man.
So that
Negativity
so
has become
now,
the the main driven purpose today, and these kids' life is just negativity, man. Whatever we can get some negative juice about. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, man, it's all type of seeds that's getting planted, but ain't nobody watering them. You know what I'm saying? These conversations that we having, nobody taking these back and having these conversations among the young ones. You know what I'm saying? Or even among their brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like, but let us be on here talking about some drama. And
they
we'd
gonna
be
eat
in
it up.
every conversation, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get done told somebody done told somebody else that done told somebody else. They done reminded them to tell somebody else about the shit. Like,
Yeah.
but when you plant these seeds, man, that's one thing that I learned that you gotta understand they not always gonna grow. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But you can't never stop your purpose. Keep planting them. Keep planting them.
Mm-hmm.
Every room you walk in, plant some more seeds. You know what I'm saying? Eventually they gonna catch, they gonna grow, they gonna grow where they supposed to grow. You know what I'm saying? And you can't
Mm-hmm.
worry about where your seeds didn't grow at. You know what I'm saying? And as long as you got your, like I said earlier about being steadfast, as long as you got your mindset on planting seeds and throwing these seeds out, you know what I'm saying? You satisfied with planting these seeds. You know what I'm saying? Whatever reward that come later on, you ain't even that bridge ain't crossed your mind. You know what I'm saying? And like he said,
Mm-hmm.
the price is the price, and you can't be bought. So as long as I'm planting seeds, I don't care where they grow. They growing somewhere. Your yard might not have
Mm-hmm.
them, but your neighbors might.
Mm-hmm. They wasn't for you. That's real. So that's a good point to for us to wrap up. We just hit our hour. We gonna leave off on some advice, and then we gonna give shouts out to our sponsors again. That's how we gonna wrap it up. So some advice for younger you. My advice will be, man, what we talked about on this show, patience. I used to be in such a rush to get out of my parents' crib and grow up and do this and do that. And once I did all those things, I was just like, what's next? You still hungry for more. You'll never be satisfied running as fast as you can. You'll just be tired. So the advice I have for younger me is patience. Everything's gonna come together, young man. Like you just gotta be patient. Like Pop said, you gotta be steadfast, you dig? And everything gonna work out. What's your advice for younger you?
My advice for younger me, I would have to say is, a lesson that you just talked about, you learning, man, is just learning when not to talk. I was very knowledgeable at a young age, and I felt like the biggest gift that I never gained at a young age was learning when not to talk. You put me in a room and I felt like people needed to know I was gonna talk. And it's now being an adult that I'm learning to be quiet and listen sometimes. You know what I'm saying? You gain a lot more when you ain't the one that's talking. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like, and I think that was one of the biggest things along my journey that kept me, kind of behind the race, is that I never learned how to be quiet and listen. Sometimes being in the room and being the one who don't know what's going on is sometimes the best room to be in because you gain in there.
Mm-hmm. That's real. I love that, man. Way to wrap up. Great first show from my dog. Like, people ain't gonna think this was your first time doing this, bro.
Man, listen, boy, this was a journey. It was a
Yeah,
journey to get here for sure,
yeah,
boy.
yeah. That's real. So shout out to everybody that was on the panel commenting, living it up. Coach LJ, Coach Lauren gave some green flags, green checks. Coach AJ said heavy on the you can't buy me. You know what I mean? Coach Lauren said, yeah, keep being the light. Coach AJ said people get that dopamine rush from negativity. That's why I'm such an advocate for filtering the media and convos that we consume and engage in. Yes, that's your diet too, people. What you listen to, what you read, how people talk to you, what you watch, all of that's just you got to be mindful of. That's your diet. Coach Lawrence said yes. The seeds was really feeling what you were saying. Coach Chantel said seek wisdom and sharpen your discernment. That's that advice. And some more gems she dropping. Transparency and honesty are two different things. That is real. That is very real. That's a whole nother show.
Yeah,
So you hear
yeah.
me? So shout out to all y'all checking in, man. Our sponsors again, Dropping Gems platform. Most of the coaches, most of the gems is on the panel. They came to check us out. They came to convo. Shouts to y'all. Get that information. Get on the platform. We got a lot of information. We're gonna have information about this podcast and me and bro doing, like, cause everybody need to tap in. Everybody welcome.
They sports podcast is against grain sports.
Against the Grain Sports. Shout out to bro for tapping in. We're gonna show him some love. We're gonna get as much people as we can with us to go check out their shows. This is how we spread the love. We gotta support each other, you dig? Support each other. Who's your bro with the clothing line?
Ronald Does, Dream Doer, definitely check him out for sure. Great guy, man. Great sponsor. Ray Lindsay, Joy Coleman, those are the guys for Against the Grain Sports. Definitely tap in, check them out.
And we got the restaurants. We got Sands Seafood Bar, Huber Heights. Make sure y'all check out and Sands, shop, spend some money. You know what I mean? We're gonna keep circulating our dollars through our community, through our people, for us. We got Waves Bar and Kitchen. Make sure y'all check them out in Columbus, Ohio. Some amazing food. I'm gonna be doing shows there in March on Wednesdays. A little late night poetry vibe, networking vibe. The who's who gonna be in the building. So child support attorneys, firefighters. You know what I mean? Athletes, business like artists. So pull up because we definitely gonna be talking and sharing, but mostly just letting go, like being free, because we also on our duty. We ain't on duty all the time. Like sometimes we gotta let our hair down and turn log out, like sis said, D&D your phone, and you gotta be out the way. You dig? So, is there anything you want to leave the people with?
I think, like I said, man, remember against this journey that we going through in life, man. Always remember your purpose, man. Definitely, you know, don't worry about the past and you know the trials that you went through until you lose using them as a tool. You know what I'm saying? We only use them as tools. We never use them as anchors. You know, definitely go through the journey remembering your tools, man. I never tell you to forget your tools, man. But when they start becoming the anchors, man, you gotta let them go, man.
That's real. I'm gonna leave with y'all. Keep loving, love hard. It's gonna hurt sometimes, and it's gonna be a lot of growing pains. That means it's working. So love hard, put love into everything you do. It. If you can't find the love in it, try to create the love in it. If love doesn't want to exist there, it's time for you to leave. You got to move on. You got to protect you, live in your purpose, walk in your purpose, talk in your purpose. You dig? We had a great time, man. I'm excited. The next show is Thursday. We going every Monday, Thursday, 8 p.m. Make sure y'all tap in. We're gonna have guests on, so I'm gonna be connecting with people. Bro gonna be connecting with people. We're gonna get you on the show. We're gonna get your flyer done. It's gonna be real professional. We're gonna have fun, but we're gonna support each other and we're gonna take each other's brands and businesses seriously because this is not little. This ain't that small business, you dig? Like your stuff is gigantic. So shout out to y'all for rocking, man. We out.